Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back. In the previous class, we have discussed about ionic compounds and their properties. And the next portion, that is occurrence of metals and corrosion. These two portions are excluded from our syllabus. So I am not going to take that portion, but you have to read that portion very well. Just go through it. Okay. Now we are moving to a new chapter. You know different elements and you have by hearted 30 elements or 40 elements, isn't it? Yes. So which is the element, which element is more significant among them? Which is the element? Yes, carbon. Carbon is most significant among other elements. Why? So, the new chapter is carbon and its compounds. Carbon and its compounds. So, we are going to discuss about carbon and its compounds. Why carbons are so significant? Yes, the number of compounds which is formed from carbon is more than that of any other elements. Number of compounds are larger. Okay. There is an activity 4.1. Table. There is a table, you have to fill that table. First column is things made of metal. Then second column things made of glass. Third column others. So others will include the chalk, paper, books, table, etc. Isn't it? Okay. And the third column, which is others, which include the most of the items that we have included in this third column will be the compounds of carbon. Chalk is a compound of carbon. Paper is a compound of carbon. Books, compound of carbon. The table, it is a compound of carbon. And the food, clothes, medicine, books and many of things that you have listed are based on the versatile element carbon. Okay, carbon. In addition, our life structures are carbon based. In our body there are different structures which are based on carbon. Okay, so that much important is for carbon, has that much importance. And in earth crust there is 0.02%. In earth crust the percentage of carbon is 0.02. Then in the form of minerals like carbonates, hydrogen carbonates, coal and petroleum. And in the atmosphere there is 0.03%. And in spite of this small amount of carbon available in nature, the importance of carbon seems to be immense. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to discuss about the properties of carbon which make carbon so important to us. First, bonding in carbon. Okay, bonding in carbon. We have discussed about the ionic bonding, ionic compound. And in the ionic compound there is an electrostatic force of attraction, and the bonding is ionic bond is very stronger, and so it has high melting and a high boiling point. Also like this ionic bonding, it is not like ionic bonding that is present in carbon compounds. The bond that present in carbon compound is not like the ionic bond. The main properties of carbon compounds are, first one is they are poor conductors of electricity. Carbon is poor conductors of electricity. Okay, then The compounds have low melting and boiling points. Carbon compounds have low A table is given in the textbook in page number 59, table 4.1. Just look on that acetic acid, melting point 290 Kelvin and boiling point 391. On comparing with the boiling point and melting point of ionic compounds, we can conclude that the boiling and melting point of carbon compounds are low, and because the bonding in these compounds are very weak or are not very strong. Okay, that's why the melting and the boiling points are low. And the bonding in these compounds does not give rise to any ions. This bonding does not give rise to any ions, so it does not conduct electricity. To conduct electricity, there should be ions in its liquids or liquid state. So, in carbon compounds, the bonding does not give rise to any ions. So, it cannot conduct electricity. Then, the reactivity of different compounds or different elements are different, and it depends upon the valence electrons present in the atoms. Now look at let's look at the electronic configuration of carbon. The atom. What do you know about carbon? Yes, the atomic number of carbon is 6. Okay, atomic number of carbon is 6. Then the distribution of electrons will be Kl. 2 electrons in the K shell and 4 electrons in the L shell. So, in the valence shell, in the outermost shell, there is 4 electrons. Okay. So, we have already discussed that the reactivity of elements is explained as their tendency to attain a completely filled outer shell. Okay. Reactivity of elements. The elements combine to form compound. The reactivity of elements is their tendency to attain the complete filled outermost shell. Okay, that is to attain noble gas configuration. So, elements forming ionic compounds achieve this by gaining or losing electrons from the outermost shell. In the case of ionic compounds, that is NaCl is a ionic compound. Na give 1 electron and Cl receive 1 electron. There is a transfer of Na donates 1 electron, it accepts 1 electron. Na loses 1 electron or it gains, chlorine gains 1 electron. So, transfer of electron. Through this transfer, they form ionic compound and they attain octet configuration. Okay, they attain octet configuration. That's why they join together to form compounds. And but in the case of carbon, it has 4 electrons in their valence shell. So, to attain octet, what that have to do? Yes, either it have to accept or gain 4 electron, or it need to lose 4 electron to attain a stable configuration. That is, when 4 electrons is lost by carbon, what there will be 2 electrons in the K shell. That is to attain duplet configuration, not octet, duplet. It is also a stable configuration and it is also a noble gas configuration. Atoms tries to attain the noble gas configuration. This is a configuration of helium. It is a noble gas. Okay, so atoms try to attain noble gas configuration or octet configuration or duplet configuration. In this case, carbon can attain stable configuration by removing 4 electrons. or gaining 4 electron, that is attaining 8 electron. So carbon can be either C minus 4 or C plus 4. When it accept 4 electron, it will be what? Minus 4. Okay. When it loses 4 minus. When it loses 4 electron, what happens? C4 plus. Okay. So carbon will be C4 minus or C4 plus. The problem is that it is when the carbon become C4 minus anion, it will be difficult for the nucleus with the 6 proton to hold on 10 electron. In the carbon there is 6 protons and 6 electrons. When it accepts 4 electron, it will have 10 electron and 6 proton. Number of proton will not change. So it for the nucleus of the carbon atom has difficult to hold 10 electrons. Okay, so it is very difficult to attain what? C4 minus cation. And when it loses 4 electrons forming C4 plus ions, what happened? What is the difficulty? It would require large amount of energy to remove. It requires some energy to remove 1 electron, and hence it attain 2-3 configuration. Then applying more energy, it can lose or donate 1 more electron. Again applying energy, it can donate 1 more electron. Again applying more energy, it can donate next electron also. So the carbon atom need more energy to release or donate 4 electrons. So it is also difficult for the carbon atom. Okay. So these two methods are not possible for the carbon atom to attain configuration. Then what will the carbon atom do? Yes, the problem is solved by sharing of valence electron with other atoms of carbon or with the atoms of other elements. Sharing, not donating, sharing. Carbon atom will share its electron to another atom or another carbon atom, and it also share its electron with the carbon atom. Hence they can attain the stable configuration. Okay. And the shared electrons belonging to the outermost shell of both the atoms and led to the both atoms attaining the noble gas configuration. Before going on to compounds of carbon, let us look at some simple molecules formed by the sharing of valence electron. Let's discuss it in detail. For example, hydrogen has 1 electron in its cation, isn't it? Okay, so to attain stable configuration, it needs 1 more electron to attain the configuration of helium, isn't it? Yes, so it needs 1 electron. And in the case of when it combines with another hydrogen atom, they will share their electrons with each other. That is, this is an electron dot diagram. We can use dot or cross to denote the outermost electron. We will place the electrons that present in the outermost shell only. So in the case of hydrogen, it has 1 electron in its cation. So it needs 1 more electron. So another hydrogen comes with its outermost electron. This hydrogen share its electron to the next hydrogen, and this hydrogen share its electron to the first hydrogen. Hence they can attain their desire. That is, this hydrogen get 2 electrons by sharing with the other hydrogen. And also this hydrogen also can satisfy the stable configuration. They attain the configuration of helium. Helium has 2 electrons, so they have the configuration of helium, so they are stable. And the shared electron, this shared pair of electron belongs to this hydrogen and also for this hydrogen. Both of share ചെയ്ത ഇലക്ട്രോൺസ് രണ്ട് പേരുടെയാണ് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുക ചെയ്തത്. അത് രണ്ട് പേർക്കും അവകാശപ്പെട്ടതാണ്. ഓക്കെ, ഒരാൾക്കുള്ള മറ്റൊരാൾക്ക് ഷെയർ ചെയ്ത് അയാൾക്ക് ഇയാൾക്ക് ഷെയർ. അപ്പോൾ രണ്ട് പേരുടെയും കണ്ടീഷൻസ് അവർക്ക് സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈ ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിച്ചു. ഒന്ന് ഒരാൾക്ക് കൊടുക്കാം, അത് മറ്റാൾ സ്വീകരിക്കാം, അങ്ങനെയല്ല, രണ്ട് പേരും ഷെയർ ചെയ്യും. സോ ദേ അറ്റൈൻ സ്റ്റേബിൾ കോൺഫിഗറേഷൻ H2. Then in the case of nitrogen and when the shared pair of electrons constitute a bond. When a shared pair of electron forms a bond, hence it is called H2. There is a bond. We will draw shared pairs as a line. It is a bond formed between the two hydrogen atom. It is represented by a line between the two atoms, and so it is a single covalent bond. We call it as this is when the atom shares electrons to form a bond, that bond is known as covalent bond, and here it is single covalent bond. Okay, next nitrogen. Atomic number of nitrogen is what? 70. Sorry, not nitrogen, chlorine. Atomic number of chlorine is 70. So the distribution of electrons will be 2, 8, 7. For chlorine, it needs 1 electrons to attain octet configuration. It needs to accept 1 electron. So when two chlorine atoms combine, when they share in the Cl2 molecule, that is, its valence shell has 7 electrons. So we have to denote it with okay. Next chlorine atom comes, and they will share both the electrons. What happens? Yes, they can attain their octet configuration by sharing. With a mutual understanding, they can attain their octet configuration. Then in the case of oxygen, atomic number of oxygen is 8, and the distribution of electrons is 2, 6. So in the valence shell there is 6 electrons. So to attain octet or stable configuration, it needs 2 more electrons. Okay, to attain 8, it needs 2 more electrons. So what happens when 2 oxygen molecules shares their electron? So it needs 2 electrons. So it shares 2 electrons. That is on denoting the valence electron. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. Another oxygen atom came, and it shares 2 electrons. So they shared 2 pairs of electrons. Okay, they shared 2 pairs of electron, hence they attain octet. So we have already said that one pair of electron is represented by a line and it is called a single covalent bond. Here the two pairs of electrons are represented by two lines. Okay, O2 is represented as O double bond O, and it is called a what? Double bond, covalent double bond. Okay, and it is represented as, it is said to be double bond between two atoms. And in the case of nitrogen, okay, when we come with nitrogen, the atomic number of nitrogen is 7 and the distribution of electrons will be 2, 5. So it needs how many electrons? Yes, it needs 3 electrons to attain octet configuration. So it needs to share 3 electrons. When 2 nitrogen atoms combines, it needs to share 3 electrons with another nitrogen atom. Here it takes the 3 electrons of the other, hence they can attain octet. On counting electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in the case of this atom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, hence here there is 3 pairs of electrons shared between the 2 atoms. Hence we can denote it as 3 line between the atoms. This bond is called what? Triple bond. Triple bond. Sharing of 3 pairs of electron between atom form triple bond. Then these are the diatomic molecules. Then in the case of NH3, ammonia, what happens? In the previous examples we have discussed the same type of atoms shared between them. But then what happens when different types of atoms sharing take place between different types of atoms? That is NH3. In this compound, nitrogen and hydrogen shared electron pairs. How this happened? Nitrogen needs 3 electrons. There are 5 electrons around nitrogen, isn't it? 5 electrons around nitrogen. So it needs 3 more electrons to attain octet. So there is 3 hydrogen. One hydrogen comes with its electron, another hydrogen comes with an electron. Hence they attain octet configuration or duplet configuration. Hydrogen get 2 electron by sharing, each hydrogen get 2 electron by sharing, and nitrogen get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 octet configuration. Then you can represent it in any way. In the text it is represented as you can represent it as like this. Then when another example is methane. Methane, which is a compound of carbon. Methane is widely used as fuel and is a major component of biogas and compressed natural CNG, compressed natural gas. It is also one of the simplest compound formed by carbon. Methane, that is CH4. So we are entering into the carbon compounds, that is CH4. Carbon needs 4 electrons to satisfy their octet configuration. So in the valence shell there is 4 electrons for carbon. So it needs 4 more electrons. So there is 4 hydrogen atom. So by sharing they attained their they satisfied the octet configuration. The such bonds which are formed by sharing of electron pair between 2 atoms are known as covalent bonds. So these types of bonds are known as covalent bond. How we can represent these bonds? Yes, we can represent a bond with a line. This is also represented as like this. Okay, and these bonds are called covalent bonds. Covalently bonded molecules are seen to have stronger bonds within the molecule, but the intermolecular forces are weak, and this give rise to low melting and boiling point of this compound that we have already discussed. Then since the electrons are shared between atoms and no charged particles are formed, such covalent bonds are generally poor conductors of electricity. So this is a bonding, covalent bonding, about covalent bonding. So let's wind up today's class. In this class we have discussed about carbon compounds and 2 properties. They are poor conductors of electricity, they have low melting and boiling point. The bond between the carbon compounds are generally covalent bond, and it is formed by sharing of pair of electron. And also we have discussed about the covalent bond present in another compounds which are made up with another elements. Okay, hope that you understood everything. So let's meet in another class. Okay, thank you.